What's up, Team Killers? This is your boy Chris here, recording his drive down after action battle report, fun time stuff, whatever. This is like my third or fourth attempt doing this because I keep thinking I'm going to miss the turn off, and then I keep looking at the map and I'm like, oh, right, I don't need to do that. That's the other way I was going to go. And so, I'm driving back down from Warzone Houston. It was a great event. Much love to Caesar and for putting this on. Kill Team is still a relatively small game. We got, I was in the hotel and coming back in, and I was talking with some guys who were playing AOS, and they were like, who had been there for the AOS tournament, and they asked what I was there for, and I said Kill Team, and one of the guys, smirked at me. He's like, they have a full event for that, and I'm like, oh man, ooh, that's condescension. That's condescension right there. I mean, especially because there were a bunch of games there. There were the enemy wargaming guys who were demoing their game system there. So I mean, come on. If those guys had their full event there, I mean, you're just being a dick at that point. But I digress. After that little digression, so it was a 5-event game. We started at 10 and we got done like, I don't know, 7:30 maybe, 8 o'clock sounds more likely, with like a break in between. Might have been an hour, it might have been 45 minutes, I don't remember, to be honest with you. Because it was just full of Kill Team, but it was like 8 or 9 hours of Kill Team, which was awesome, and I loved it, but it was a lot, and so I'm glad I brought the intercession squad. I do not know how people could do that with like maybe Betgard and Tau. Oh my god, yeah, that sounds like it would be a lot of just, I don't know what with that, but but it was a fun game. I felt mentally fresh the entire event. I had my coffee in the morning. I didn't do any energy drinks. They had the bar there. I didn't do anything with that until end game. That's when I could start celebrating. But during the event, no, I wasn't partaking of anything. So I didn't have the caffeine jitters, but I also didn't have the whatchamacallit. I wasn't loose because of the alcohol either. So it was good. That was good. So I was able to keep my focus throughout the entire event. We did 5 games. It was player placed terrain and free choice secondary. So the player placed was, we did that a lot here in Texas. We did have one stipulation, and that is that you had to be able to fit every model space between the pieces of terrain, every piece of terrain. So you couldn't just make a wall of terrain that nobody could get through, that they had to climb and traverse over and make unchargeable sniper nests and things like that. No, we didn't have any of that, and so that was fun. and that kept the shenanigans down as far as I'm aware. I didn't hear anybody complaining about it. Nobody complained about Vantage or anything like that. And then the other thing we did was we let it be free choice secondaries, so that you could pick your tac ops with the terrain in mind, right? So you wouldn't get, if you're replacing your terrain, you wouldn't get screwed out of Vantage, right? If somebody, saw what you were doing, did counter deploying, and made it so that the only pieces of heavy terrain were in one deployment zone, kind of thing, or anything like that. No, we had it set so that Vantage was an option. If you wanted it, right? So I think that did a lot to, curtail any of the shenanigans. But I don't know. I didn't hear any of the things that I normally hear about player place terrain. It was a 16-person event, so maybe it's just that it was too small to get the real things. But if you have any ideas about how you think that could get abused or something like that, let me know. But yeah, we went there. I took the security archetype the entire game, and so let's talk about those matches. So number one, the first match I went into was against a guy named Josh. Josh was slated to be one of the TOs, and so he was there. He helped set up, but he was there in case we got an uneven number, so that we wouldn't have buy rounds. And so he came in and he did it, and he was so I played against him. He wasn't planning on playing, and it sounds like he does a lot of organizing and a lot of playing. So if you're not playing the game, you don't get to see a lot of the tricks. Even if you're just TOing, you don't experience it firsthand, so you don't get those little things going on. But let's see here. Where am I going? Keep right at the fork. Keep left at the fork. There's some construction on the road here, guys, so you're witnessing this live, but it hasn't rerouted me yet. So Google did take me through some sketchy reroutes, so I will tell you that, while I was in some of these places. It didn't feel bad. It wasn't at night or anything like that, but yeah, there were some sketchy reroutes on the drive out. More places that you're worried about hitting somebody's, dog or something that's on the road than feeling any actual danger. But it's still not a good feeling. So that's that feeling. But so game one, I was playing against Josh, and it was a pretty fun game. Like I said, Josh didn't seem like he had done a lot of playing, and I don't think he played against the intercessors, which strikes me. I know they're still a new team, but it strikes me as strange that it's still that new for people. Because and it just shows how much I'm online, and versus the people who are not. But these are all people on the Facebook groups and things like that. So that they got tripped up by the fact that they got bolster discipline for free, and I'm like, we got this for free. kind of stuff, and so that that trips them up. And I'm like, what? You don't know that's why it's so fun? And so yeah, that's it's one of those things. But yeah, so that was me on that one. I went into him with this was on map 1.3, I want to say, to 2.3, let's see here, or no, I'm sorry, 1.3, which was Awakened Data Spirits. So that's one that I hadn't gotten a whole lot of experience on, but I think I managed to do a pretty good job with that one. And get I scored I ended up scoring 14 to 8 on that one, so it was definitely a good win, but I could have done better. I could have ended that one 15, and those extra points are going to be something I do have to worry about if I do end up going into like more detailed tournaments, just because it is you do want to make sure you are getting the maxing your points, making sure that you got everything that you want. And so what happened is that I was too focused on scoring Champion of Mankind. I took the 3 tag ops: Champion of Mankind, Central Control, and Damage Limitation. I did not score Damage Limitation. He managed to kill at least one of my guys every 3 rounds. Josh didn't, like I said, Josh wasn't planning on playing, or he was there as a backup. So he didn't bring an optimized team with him. He brought 3 Reavers and the Box Breaker, the Marksman, and the Helix. So I think he had 1 Infiltrator on there. And then the 3 Reavers make sense, but yeah, he didn't bring the Mine Layer. He didn't bring a lot of the other, and he didn't bring the Veteran. He didn't bring guys who could have a lot of damage on my guys. So, it was what it was. But so I won that one pretty handily. Because like I said, Josh wasn't as aware of the intercession squad and what they could do. But I got too focused on scoring Champion of Mankind that I didn't realize that I could have done a charge and killed the guy who was standing on the other main point. But if I would have done that, I would have broken. I would have not gotten 2 points for Champion of Mankind, so I didn't do it. But I would have gotten 2 points on the primary, so I would have lost a point, but I would have gained 2, so I would have come out ahead. But it is what it is. I still won. So game 2 was my loss of the tournament. I was playing against James Grubbs, and I figured out that I don't like domination, and I especially don't like domination into teams that have more than 10 models. I don't. It's a rush mission where I feel like I am getting out activated, out controlled, out everything, and I can't react to it. And that's what I think I did not like, is that I didn't like not being able to react to things. And so that's what threw me off on my game plan. And on top of that, I made 3 critical mistakes that got me was like 2 steps back on that one. I just couldn't claw my way out of it. James was a very good player, very competitive, so it felt like he was also there to play the game. And my mistakes were that my first so on this one I didn't get I didn't like a lot of my attack op choices on this one. I could have probably gone shock and awe. I was not going to go with the clear everybody off the point one. He just had too many orcs are just too tanky, and he had too many guys, and the commando grot could have done everything that could have done everything in his power to keep me from scoring this. So it was not the one to do any of those other ones. Hold the line was keep orcs out of the center, and again commando grot, and then just he had enough bodies to just bum rush me. Couldn't do that in 2 turns. So it was not a great matchup for those secondaries. So I did take central control. I think I did max central. I definitely had enough points for, I had enough APL for that. And I took Champion of Mankind again. I don't think I maxed out. I think I got 1 point on it. But the 3 critical. And so then I had to choose other attack ops. I didn't like. I probably should have done Seize Ground, but that probably would have had me end with just 1 point. What I did pick was I had a game plan for taking Plant Banner, and that was to move one of my assault intercessors across the board, and then plant the banner and get him in the back lines and force him to fork between the 2 points. But that didn't happen for the reasons I'm going to talk about right now. And so this one I did a 4-2 split, 2 rifles, which was the Super Bolter and the auxiliary grenade launcher. I brought the assault intercessor sergeant with the hand flamer because I thought the hitting on 2s would probably be a better bet, especially with just a scratch. Knowing that just getting lots of damage through would be better than having him choosing to just to scratch something and survive. Just based on the kind of the rough calculations, I think the plasma pistol is still slightly better, but on top of that, plus the benefits of the power sword in melee, I think I liked my odds better on that one. So that's why I went with that one. And I chose the infiltration scouting step, and so my goal was I saw him do his forward deploy with his orc, and so my plan was to get a charge off on him, or not a charge, but move my sergeant into range and flamer him, and just knock off some wounds and get him into like a 1-hit range, which is 2-hit range because of just scratch, and get him in there. But I just didn't measure it right, and so he was on a conceal order, and he was obscured, so I just couldn't get within 2 and get the shots off. And so that hurt, especially because I did that with my last activation, and I could have instead gotten my Super Bolter up on a vantage point and done the move that the climb, shoot, dash, and gotten some extra damage in. So that happened. That was a misplay. Number two, the other misplay was I did the climb, shoot with my auxiliary grenade launcher, and the plan was to dash down. But James called me on this, and I completely, and he was right to do it. I put my base too far. I didn't leave any overhang so that it would be just an inch, so I could, do the inch dash down, right? So I lost my chance to do it like that, and so I had to keep my auxiliary grenade launcher up there, which wouldn't have been terrible, except I completely whiffed my shots. So I did the blast round, to spread the damage around, because it's orc shooting. If you can get them to injured, that's when you get some real fun to happen. You can be kind of safe, but I didn't get anybody injured. I knocked off like 4 damage off of them, so not a lot. Whiffed on another on the other blast. Shot with the bolter, rolled like 2s, right? Rolled 1s into 1s, kind of deal. So that didn't help me out. I think I took 3 or 4 shots with my. I think I took 3 shots at that activation with my auxiliary grenade launcher, and I didn't kill a single orc, and so that felt real bad, real bad. That was mistake 2, and then mistake 3 was that I didn't see that my banner bearer, when I moved him over, I moved him within charge range of 2 orcs, because he had one guy kind of, from my perspective on the table, I lost him, right? I didn't see where he was at, and so he charged me with a boy and slasher boy, and so that just that got my assault intercessor down. I think I whiffed on the first one, got like 2 hits, maybe something like that, and that was not a great one. And then got it was not a great matchup on that one. And Slasher Boy came in. I did manage to kill Slasher Boy. I just got the numbers on it, but then he did crump him to fight again with that other boy, and I was on 2 health, and he killed me, and so I had to drop the banner that turn, and that threw my plans completely out of whack. You do not want that to be, you don't want your banner guy to die out of position, and he just did nothing for me. And so that's kind of how it went. And then starting the next turn, I lost. My assault sergeant completely whiffed on his attack into the boss knob. I think I got like 2 hits, and I was hitting on 2s, right? Not great at all. And so that was real not good. So that sucked. And then it was all just downhill from there. So I lost that one. Then I went into game 3 into Mark Lenti, and I think game 3 is honestly the one where I think that's where the fatigue probably set in for most people, because it was like 2 o'clock when we got started, somewhere around there, and so that's when you'd been going for like 4 hours straight already. So that's when people probably got fatigued. I went into a Mark. I played against Mark before on Tabletop Simulator in the old edition during lockdown, so it was great to finally meet him face to face. And so that was a lot of fun. It was loot and salvage. That was my tie of the game. So getting a tie against a horde team on loot and salvage, I treat that as a win personally. But I probably could have won it if I'd been a little bit more aggressive, but I think that also might have opened me up to some shooting. So I'm it's I probably could there's probably a few things I could have done that would have made that work out a little better. So that was against Mark, I think I might have gone 5 bolters, 1 assault intercessor, because he had a bolter. I took the intercessor sergeant. I know I took the grenadier. I might have taken 1 assault warrior, but I cannot recall off the top of my head if I did. Because I know I took a knife and maybe a auspex on that one. So I might have had 5-1 on that one. So it was loot and salvage. On that one, I took Champion of Mankind again, maxed that one out. Took Central Control, maxed that one out. He did his grenade play, the grenade yeet, and it did some damage against my guys, but with And They Shall Know No Fear and the reduction, I think I only took like 8 damage on that one, because he probably got like 3 hits. I made the save against the fusion, and so that worked out in my favor. Sorry about the road noise. I managed to, do a whole lot of things. He probably could have done his shoot in the melee things a couple of times to clear my guys off, but it didn't work out that way. I was able to pick off his ions pretty quickly. I think I took the medic out first, and then I got the ions on Overwatch, I got lucky with the grenade, the crack grenade. The cracks did, they either did like next to nothing, or I rolled all 6s. I mean, that's the way the crack grenade always goes for me. I don't like the crack grenade, but it's because it's for me, it's an all or nothing thing. But I'm gonna take it just because it's free equipment points anyway. So it is what it is. But yeah, more often than not, I'd get 3 hits. They'd save 1, they'd get 1 from cover, and that's just the way it went. score champion of mankind, and I think we both did the same number of loots. So yeah, there was a turn where he looted one of mine that I think I might have done the activation order wrong or something like that, where he got a chance to loot it. I think what it was that I had moved somebody back into cover, and I just moved them far enough off the point that I thought it was that point was safe, but it turns out I had stepped off the point, so that's how he was able to get one of mine, and that was probably what lost me that one. But other than that, it was a fun one, and Mark's a great guy. Playing against him was fun. Real fun opponent. Probably my favorite game. No, I'm lying. My second favorite game of the match. The next one that I went to. So we went to lunch. I got a chance to talk a little bit with some of the Houston folks. Came back, and then I got paired up with I want to say his name was Donald, and poor Donald, he brought the Phobos, and so he wasn't sure what he was going to bring. He was also going to bring Works, the Commandos, but he didn't know what people were bringing. I think he would have probably had a better time if he brought the Commandos, because we had a lot of Marines, either from Legion or other flavors of Marines. But we had like 2 Legions, one intercession, but still, and other Phobos. So we had like 2 Phobos, 2 Legion, and 1. So 5 out of 16. So that's a good number. But so that was a good match. This is one where I did take Plant Banner, and yeah, I set everything up with the terrain so I could do a jump test, so that I could get into his line, and so that I could drop the banner, and it worked out perfectly. I got over there, I dropped the banner. I was, this was secure Archaeotech, so it was a lot of yep, we grab them, we take them, we grab the points, we run and hide kind of thing, and that worked in my favor. I took central control, I want to say. No, I took hold the line, and I held the line, and then champion of mankind, and I maxed all of them. I think I only got like 8 or 9 points on the primary. 3 and 6, yeah, 3 and 6. So I think that's like 9 points on the primary. And then I maxed my TAC ops, so that was a 15-point win. So that one was fun. And so, but that set me up. That brought me back up for the chance to go into the claw my way back up after that loss and that tie. And then so game 5 was against Nathan. I always get your last name wrong because there's 2 Nathans. There's Nathan Smith and Nathan Watts. I think it's Nathan Smith is the one who I played against. Nathan. He's a San Antonio player. He plays at Dragon's Lair, and I talked about him in my pregame video. And so it was into the Hunter Clade. I was excited for this matchup, and this one was Seas Ground. And so this was the only one where I lost the roll off, and I was attacker. Nathan set up his terrain. So he got his terrain piece, but it was fine because I had also set myself up to get some decent terrain features. And on this one, I went hold the line, champion, and central control again. ops. Yeah, I maxed my tac ops, and that's what won me the game. Was that I was able to max, and so that helped. I should say. On this one, oh yeah, on the previous one, I think I went a 3-3 split. No, I'm sorry, I went 4-2 split against the second Phobos. I took the plasma pistol leader. He was all right. He didn't give me a lot of shots, so it was what it was. But against Nathan, I brought the hand flamer leader again, the assault intercessor, because again I wanted to get those. I had a feeling I might get Overwatch shots. I had a feeling that I might have to do like shoot on death with my leader. So I was trying to increase my odds to hit better with that. And they're 8 to 10 wound models, so overwhelming them with dice is just as good as AP on them. So I went him with a tilting. This game, I think I went about as WYSIWYG as I could get. I was using a Hell Blaster arm, the plasma, whatever, as my super bolter. I had a combat knife model, and one of my sergeants had the tilting shield on it. So he was there. So I'm taking the tilting shield, I'm taking the super bolter, and I'm taking a knife. And so it was pretty clear as to who everybody was. So that was good. Turning point 1 was we were playing pretty cagely, but I was able to do the move, shoot, dash with my grenadier, not the grenadier, the auxiliary grenade launcher, and I got him. I was able to catch like 3 models in a blast. I killed. Did I kill, or I almost killed his Omnispecs in the first go, and so that really made the big difference for me. And I wounded. I got some wounds on some of his other guys. So yeah, but taking out that one first turn really made it a lot easier for me to avoid a lot of the shooting. So that worked out pretty good. And then turning point 2, I was able to get an assault intercessor charge. And yeah, this one I went balanced 3-1 split. And I was able to get an intercessor, an assault intercessor I did a multi-charge into his plasma gun. And so that was his plasma and a rust stalker. And so I got the charge in, killed the plasma. So that was another big range threat out. So by after the first activation of turning point 2, the things that I was the most scared of were gone, right? So that kept me, that really heartened me throughout the game. We did some trading of objective markers and things like that. I'd take one of his, he'd take one of mine, and then yeah, it was a lot of fun. But it was a lot of fun, and we definitely had some. This is probably my favorite match of the game because it definitely felt like we were giving it our all on this one, because we knew this was the one that was going to decide who would go to top or who would go home. And I felt like my game plan was strong. I had a plan. This was also one of the ones where I got to 4 kills for Champion of Mankind. So I felt, I popped it at 3, but I think I got up to 4. So that was nice. And so yeah, this one felt really good. And that was that event. And so yeah, it was a lot of fun. Final thoughts on the Intercession Squad. I love them. Like I described them as, I think I described them as sticky. Right. So what I mean by that is that they stay around. They're like a piece of gum, or they're like glitter or something like that. That they can get. You might see them. You might see it on there, but it takes so much work to clear them off, right? And in the meantime, I was, so on those games where I could control things, and I would get one activation, get something off, another activation, clear something else off a point, things like that. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, I'm excited to see what they do in Into the Dark. I might drop Rapid for Methodical in Into the Dark. It sounds crazy, but I think getting those guard action shots, it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I hope we go Into the Dark here locally. I was talking to the folks, and a lot of people were like, I don't know, we'll see what happens. And I'm like, no, guys, it's going to be great. This is going to, from a TO perspective, I want to do Into the Dark, just so I don't have to argue about like vantage points and things like that. I hate that. I hate the negative player experience of explaining how somebody can shoot somebody and then not get shot back. How it's non-reciprocal and all of that stuff. It's just one of the most confusing things. Or not confused. Well, it's not necessarily confusing, right? Because it is what it is. But it is one of the non-intuitive, I should say. It's one of the most non-intuitive things, because the vantage point mechanics exist. The obscurity and vantage point interactions exist for gamist reasons, right? And that's something that a lot, and for a game like, and GW is terrible at explaining narrativist rules, gamist rules. When you're playing, Risk, and you're like, okay, this one beats this one. Why? That doesn't make sense. They would be able to, the cavalry wouldn't get shot by them. They'd run away. They'd do this. They'd do that. And it doesn't make a lot of sense a lot of times, right? But you don't say anything because it's a game. We're not. This is not a simulation of actual real world events. It's a game, and so we just need rules for the game, right? Like, what's her face? Jane McGonigal, I want to say, said, explained, things about about game theory and gamification, and what makes a game is that this might be Mark Rosewater, I forget. But what a game is you understood, but the vantage point rules are things that are just non-intuitive, and they exist for game balance. And it's hard to explain that when teaching rules. And so with Into the Dark, we're going to lose that. So I'm hoping we're going to get a chance to go into the dark. But yeah, Intercession Squad, fun. Player Place Terrain, fun. This was a fun time. So yeah, let's see what happens. I was around more people than I've been around in a long time. You know, here's hoping I don't catch anything or get exposed to anything. But you know, we'll see what happens, guys. So yeah, uploading this soon.